r/out of the loop. Revolting Tech Teeth says, what's up with Sony and Concord? I've been seeing a lot of posts and comments about Sony and some crappy live service type game called Concord, a game I honestly had no idea about, but I'm completely out of the loop on what this is all about. Can someone explain what happened and why there's so much talk and controversy surrounding it? I get that it had been in development for long, but what's so special about its spectacular failure that literally everyone's talking about it? Yes, it says. Answer: there's no real controversy. It's a game published by Sony, worked on for 8 years and that did not find a public. It's the gaming equivalent to a movie flop basically. Karabausen says, there is because of how large of a flop is it. It's equivalent of one person going to see a movie in whole city. It's not regular flop, it's disaster at proportions not known so far. An odd sprout says, and not even a movie made with a tiny budget either. It's like if Disney made an animated movie, poured an ungodly amount of time and resources into it, and then it had like one person's in a whole city to watch the movie. Great Gonzales 1231 says, answer: Concord is a multiplayer shooter video game developed for the PS5 and PC. The game was in development reportedly for 8 years, and upon the open beta and full release, there are very few players active on PC per Steam charts. It is thus assumed that the PS5 has very few players as well. The game had a budget of over $100 million, so this is seen like a huge financial bomb for Sony. Why the game has poor reception is a myriad of factors. Based on the initial reveal and reception, I think the biggest issue with the game is that today in 2024, there are just too many options available for competitive shooter games, and most of them are currently free to play with microtransactions for cosmetics. Meaning, if I wanted to get into a new online game, I have tons of choices that cost me nothing to at least try, and if I like it, I can invest my time and money into the product. Concord did something that a lot of people claimed they prefer, but it doesn't seem to be working. The game is $40 upfront just to play, but all cosmetics/updates in the future will be free without a cost. This r/out of the loop. Estefxi 220 says, what is going on with Spain and tourism? Example video: recently I've been seeing a lot of videos of anti-tourism graffiti in Spain. It seems to be all over the country, but most of it is primarily in Barcelona. This confuses me, because a big part of Spain, and especially Barcelona's, economy comes from tourism, so why do they want to get rid of all of it? I understand tourists can be annoying, but damaging your city's own property and architecture to display your level of hatred for them is crazy to me. And step 234 says, answer: an unintentional outcome of Airbnbs, that property owners make much more money from short-term rentals than from yearly leases. So, in high-demand tourist areas, like Barcelona, landlords rent exclusively to tourists. This means locals can't find anywhere to rent on a longer-term basis. So, the traditional route of moving out of home in late teens/early 20s has been disrupted and is nearly impossible. Locals blame tourists instead of greedy landlords. A tale as old as time. Wheels of Fire says, answer: there is some tension about housing and rent prices. Potentially more demand than the available supply. To your point, it seems to me that Spanish folks forgot the deliberate strategy to invest in tourism as a means to escape the middle income trap and become a higher income country. r/out of the loop. Drakaround says, what is up with recent news surrounding Telegram apps here? Been seeing a lot of news about him circling recently, and am confused if it has any ties with the South Korean deepfake stuff going on right now. Gothiclg says, answer: encrypting everything on Telegram and not doing a lot of moderation makes it great for planning criminal activity. France isn't happy about that, and he's in legal trouble there for the lack of moderation. Sora Lil Sis says. Answer. Telegram is often thought as a chatting app, but in reality it's way more used as a social network with open channels. Open channels that are very often used for very illegal stuff like drug sales or child pornography. So it's used for bad stuff, but contrary to other big social networks, it absolutely refused to act when various authorities ask them to delete this shit or simply help them track the kiddies fiddlers. Telegram has been playing the la 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 can't hear you game for years with the French authorities, which is illegal in France and something the child protection agencies had been complaining for years. The boss of Telegram is also a French citizen, so he finally got arrested when he came out of his plane. On top of that, he has an inquiry about abuse of his own kids opened. He was arrested a few days ago, charged yesterday, and is on bail now. So that's why he's in the news. The various outraged reactions are mostly coming from the US far right complaining about free speech abuse, not realizing that some laws are different outside the US. Russia is heavily reliant on Telegram for a lot of stuff, namely military communications. So the idea of him folding is probably giving cold sweats to a lot of people. On top of that, while he was originally thought as hostile to Putin leaving the country in exile after being forced to sell VK, the reality is that he cozied up a lot with the Russian government over the years. He has been back 50 plus times in Russia in the last few years. Telegram is officially accepted, and there are suspicions that he was coming back from a meeting with Putin when flying back to France. As for the Korean deepfakes, no, totally unrelated. So r/OutOfTheLoop. Inevitable News says, what's going on with Katy Perry's PR strategy lately? I've noticed Katy Perry's social media has been filled with a lot of short fun videos recently, especially after some controversies and not so great reviews for her latest singles. It feels like her PR team might be using these quick, light-hearted clips to distract from the negative press and keep her relevant, especially for fans who aren't keeping up with all the news. Can someone explain what's going on with Katy Perry's PR strategy? Are they trying to shift the narrative, or is this just typical celebrity PR these days? And I have no idea how PR works, so IDK if I'm asking the wrong question. I got curious about this after watching a video on YouTube that talked about getting cancelled. You can check it out here also, since I'm new to Reddit. Is there a place where I can post random stuff and people suggest suitable subreddits? If anyone has recommendations for a better subreddit for this post or similar content, please let me know. Would appreciate any insights or explanations. Thanks. Dragonfly says, answer. Katy Perry hasn't really been popular since the mid-10s. Her 2017 album Witness flopped hard, and she's been a has-been since. She's released another album since, it did nothing. She has another one coming out next month, but the lead single also failed pretty hard, so it's not likely she'll be a big deal again anytime soon. It's hard to compete against younger, more relevant acts, especially when your most popular songs are over a decade ago. There is controversy because she's trying to paint herself as a feminist icon jailbus. Yet her main producer is Dr. Luke, a man accused of raping K$HA. Needless to say, working with someone like that is not a good look. And this was by Perry's own choice, as the last time he worked with her, she had a huge album. There's also irony that the songs and albums are mainly produced by men. She doesn't seem to recruit female guest stars or producers much. No doubt the PR machine is spinning to generate hype for the album, and no doubt try to whitewash the association with Luke. Kikis Cheel says, there's also irony that the songs and albums are mainly produced by men. I kissed a girl, and I liked it. I hope my boyfriend don't mind it. Yeah, this tracks. Solar Fusion says, the taste of iridocyclitis. Kaboom S says, answer to your second question, r/Reddit. Lenora Rose says, answer, everyone does this. They blanket post short videos, the most easily consumed media, to cover and compensate for whatever the drama is that day. If you're noticing this, you're in too deep and need a break from social media. I say this as someone who wants you to be happy and knows firsthand. This is so unimportant you shouldn't even notice. You should have no idea. I wish you the absolute best in life. r/OutOfTheLoop. Nails without Anna Milk 1 says, why are people talking about Obama and Harris and their tan suits? What is the significance of the tan suits? I'm seeing people all over Reddit and Twitter talking about it. Am I missing some kind of context? Geeky says, answer, during the Obama administration, there was a non-story where Obama wore a tan suit, and right-wing news and talk radio, always looking for some reason to criticize him, made a big deal about it, suggesting it was inappropriate as he should have worn a more traditionally dark suit. Since then, it has become a joke, because, obviously, it was a trivially stupid thing to make a fuss over. On Reddit, you will often see sarcastic jokes about Obama's tan suit. So that photo of Kamala Harris wearing a tan suit was just Obama making a reference to his scandalous tan suit on the 10-year anniversary of that event. Moochie says, the audacity of Torp. Yes, we tan. Dan McClure says, answer, it was one of a zillion fake outrage things. The thing publicans attacked Obama for wearing a tan suit instead of navy. Electric Onanist says, answer, Moran's got a Moran. T-Bug Evans says, answer, not sure why you think people are talking about it. This is one tweet from Obama about a suit he was criticized for a long time ago, but to my knowledge nobody has mentioned it since. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.